Fiddle again, and hello, it's Fo, and welcome back to Turbine City. Last time we'd got up to 950,000 population. We'd trimmed back a few little areas. We're just finding excess, low density commercial and offices. And if they're on a small road to themselves, we can delete a few of those small roads. If they share that small road with some low density housing, we'll just leave it as it is. If we can trade our low density buildings for a few high density buildings, that'll be a good trade. We can get as many of those last 50,000 people in as possible. Get as close to the 1 million population as we can. Ever since I was able to unlock the 25 tiles, I always wanted to get up to the million. Nice and neat. Number of people. You could feel like your city was complete. But then I found there were hard limits in the game. And that there were citizens in the city, or people, don't count towards your population, but do count towards the limit. That'll be all the tourists and things like that. But much like a lot of the assets count as buildings, I think a lot of the other things count as citizens as well. So we've got rid of all the seagulls with the mod. Make as much room as possible for people. Actual citizens that count for our population. Yeah, we'll just find some places where we can delete some low density stuff that's largely irrelevant. Replace it over here. And we can go ahead and unlock our last tile. Yeah, certainly designing things the way that I do, cramming everybody into grids. You definitely only need the 25 tiles to get up to the million if you could. Most other people spread things out a little bit more. So I think it's more efficient if everybody are right close to each other. Radius of all the services and everything. It covers more people in the catchment area if everybody's crammed next to each other. Yeah, I think most other people play with curves and spread things out a little bit, make things look a little bit more natural, but yeah, I've always played this way. Trying to cram people in for that day that I make it all the way to 1 million. As I say, from everything I've read on the internet, it's not really possible. When we look at our limits, it looks like it is possible by a couple of thousand with a little margin, but see what happens as we get closer to it. We'll replace that a little bit with some more housing. I'm just leaving it blank. Yeah, there's a few of these things along the edge we can maybe get rid of. Get rid of any educational buildings or anything. A school, a library, police headquarters, we need to keep that. Yeah, there are a few things we can get rid of. We're at the limit with parked cars. I was intended on turning on the realistic parking element of the traffic manager mod. We really can't encourage anybody to park their cars any more than they already are, because we're already at the limit. And our car parks don't look full at all. Maybe 1 or 2 cars parked in each because we've got so many car parks. So as well as trimming back on zone properties. Could get rid of a few of those, as well as a few more schools, because their education needs are being taken care of by our monument. Looks like all our deletings filling up this area nicely. We'll let them all come in. See how far we can get the population up. Just by moving people in here. And we can go ahead and get the next tile unlocked. We can think about roads in here. Hopefully we'll only need the part on the left hand side of the highway to fit in as many more people as we're going to fit in. Rather than chop back the scenery, we'll sort of bring it up. We'll have our hills extend down into the tile itself. Try and keep it looking natural. Smooth everything off. We're just taking heights from sort of halfway down the slopes. Extending things out naturally. As I say, we'll smooth everything off. Have them as nice hills. I'm a big fan of the smooth tool. Just running it lightly over. If you want to keep some elevation, sort of sharp elevation, you can hold it right down to get the smoothest possible slope. If you hover it over an area and keep the mouse button depressed, it can really smooth it out for you. Yeah, I like creating the hills. If we were able to still be making buildings, I would have our mountain resort unique building over here somewhere. If we hadn't hit that problem, and we still needed more space, could have gone with the 81 tiles mod, unlocked a 26 tile if we needed it. The way things are going, I don't think we're going to need this space over here. Always trim it back if we need to. Yeah, we'll hold down the mouse button and really smooth out these slopes over here, so it's a nice gentle incline. So pretty much got up to the 955. I'll let it run and drop down a save. And we'll get working into our new tile. Looking at our limits. Yeah, we still have space. We're so close to having 1 million people in the city. Obviously the population is 955, but with, as I say, the tourists and everybody, we're almost at 1 million. We're almost got 1 million people in. Yeah, looking at the margins, we should be able to hit 1 million citizens. So we'll see what happens as we get closer to the edge. I'm sure that'll change. We won't be able to actually make it. As I say, I don't think you can make it. I've never heard of anybody making it. It'll be worth our hardship if we can't make it. It's not going to let us make bridges anymore with our roads, so we're going to have to make tunnels instead. Apparently the parts of the bridge count as a structure. Oh well. We'll extend things out and try and get our road network hooked up. As I say, hopefully we're only going to need to use this first half of the tile. Get our roads all lined up and tidied up. When we're not using the small roads, we're not getting as many people into a tile, obviously. I think it's most efficient to use the high density buildings to get people in. I don't know if the green cities high density buildings hold more people, or if they're just more efficient in terms of their power and water. Could maybe extend the district out, the Green Cities district next door. Extend it out to cover this area. And we can see if those buildings hold more people. So we don't seem to have added that many. And we stopped using the small roads. Sort of slow progress to get people in. So we'll extend the district out. Hopefully add in more of these Green Cities buildings. It's going to be most effective at getting people in. As I say, fitting in as many people as possible, so we can get as close to 1 million as we can. I'll get rid of this unnecessary zoning. Little bits around the edges of things. And small roads, if they really seem unnecessary, they're just filling up space. Could fill it back up with paths and trees and things. I like this shape we've left with the roads here. By deleting some, creating more interesting shapes rather than just the plain old grids. We can take away this lower road. Leave some and take away some. Get rid of sort of surplus zoning. It's just there for the sake of filling things up. But still have the small roads make some sort of sense. So leave half and delete half. This will all give us more buildings to play with before we get back up to the limit. Zone in. As I say, just using the high density stuff. Hopefully this will all come in with the big high rises and we can fit in a few more thousand people. Get it covered for water, so they don't start complaining when I let it go. An account of how many buildings I'm deleting, so to how many to expect. It's just a rough guess. So a little more than we need. See how much of it will come in. Sort of judge how much we need to delete. I don't want to get rid of more stuff than we need to. You know, in theory I could go around quite brutally and get rid of all the schools, because we don't really need them. I could have the demand master settings set up to cover the unique factories as well, and that would remove the need for having the industry's DLC stuff set up properly and having enough assets in there. We could delete a whole bunch of things there. I think that'd be more than we need. I think we can tidy things up and do sensible renovation. Swap enough buildings that we can get what we've got left covered with housing. With all the budgets turned up to 150% for your police and trash coverage and that sort of thing. Hopefully we've got enough vehicles going round to pick it all up and respond to all the crimes and all the problems. It's becoming a bit of a stretch to get all these extra people in, but still provide them with the same level of public services. We'll drop down the save where it seems to be levelling off. The 959. Delete a few more small roads. Get a few more buildings in. Get us up to that 960. So there's plenty of areas we can hollow out unnecessary small roads. They just have low density commercial on them. Sort of surplus offices. Get this lower road down here. Again, the trees are good enough to protect from the highway noise. We've also got a car park there we could get rid of. Yeah, car parks and schools. Get rid of them, but that only really gets us one building each. If we delete these small roads that have got low density or unnecessary buildings on either side, that's freeing up a whole bunch of buildings. It's more effective, but we'll try and catch schools and car parks as we go round, because we do have more than we need. We can leave sort of 1 or 2 per 4 tile area in terms of the schools and things, I think. The car parks certainly have a lot over here. I think we can get rid of a lot of these ground level car parks when we got the big multi-story ones. I think they rendered these old news. Again, it'd certainly be more efficient to have the high capacity ones in rather than the low capacity ones. I think in here we could get some more high density housing. At least it's going to be in better range for the services and things. We want to get all the way up next to the industrial stuff, so we'll maintain a bit of a barrier. Yeah, we'll get some more housing in. Fill in some gaps, as well as relying on this area over here. And come along the top as well. We've got more than enough room away from the highway. Just want to leave a gap at the large road in case we do need to create a tunnel underneath the highway and go up into that second part of the tile. We'll play it by ear. We've got up to the 960, so I'll drop down a save here. Yeah, we've got another 40 odd buildings that we can build in before we have to go around and delete some more things. We do have more than 1 million people in the city. They're just not all residents. So we've sort of got there, but not quite. Not really what I'm after. And I want to add another small road so we can create a little barrier for the noise coming from this mail distribution centre, the mail sorting office. So I think we delete a couple of these small roads that just have non-residential zoning on them up the middle. And we'll be free to sort of replace them with one over here. We'll just cut this corner. Create a little barrier for the noise before we get the rest of the residential in. So probably be our last offices and commercial that we add in. It's the smallest of little barriers. It does give us an opportunity to put in low density housing as well. They do like to have a mix. Obviously it's not the most efficient thing for fitting in people, but as I say, I think they like it, so it should boost the happiness a little bit. I'm sure it'll be quickly occupied. Okay, just add in a couple of paths to make it nice. That's something we could do in all of these squares. Sort of fill out the middle. Focused on just getting towards the end now. It's been 86 years now in the city. Want to sort of get it done before the 100-year mark, you know. So we've got up to 965. We're getting there. Got zoning all along this back road at the very edge of the city. It's a very obvious hard barrier. You've just It's got this strip of buildings, and just the map behind it. It's only 2s and 3s as zoning, so it's not very efficient in terms of the buildings it's got on it either. So I think it's fine just to cut that off. Unnecessary stuff. Turn on the policies while we're here. I didn't know existed before. That might help these areas work a little bit better. Looks like we've got icons all over the place. They're not working well, but they never really were. It's zoning along the edge of the highway. I don't think it's essential for carrying the power across. Little strips of zoning along the edges of things. Just cut them back, as well as hollowing out a few of our squares. These shops and offices don't seem to want to come in. They don't have high enough priority with our demand. See if that does it. Yeah, they seem to be coming in. One more small road here just to break up the largest of our squares up the middle here. Just 'cause it does look awful bare. Again, not the most efficient thing, but will appeal to more of them. As I say, they do like a mix of housing. Not everybody likes the high density stuff, even if it is the fancy Green Cities buildings. Get this in, let this run, let everybody come in, see how far we get up to. Our crime rate seems to be increasing. Obviously we're adding more buildings in, we're getting more residents in, but we're taking away workplaces every time we're deleting these offices and commercial. We're creating more unemployment, which maybe leads to more crime, I don't know. Even at 150%, we don't have enough cop cars out dealing with all these crime reports. So we're gonna have to deal with that. I'm not sure what we want to do. Maybe if we rework some of our industry stuff, there'll be less industrial traffic on the road. If it's a problem with the vehicle limit, that we're not able to spawn enough cop cars, try that as a strategy. We could also look at our policies, see if there's anything we could do there. The budget's already up at full. Better not have disconnected power grids. Make sure everything's still connected. Yeah, when we're dezoning things, sometimes we're cutting off the power. We've got to be careful of that. Yeah, and all this stuff along the edges is protecting the noise. Doesn't need to. I think the trees are doing a good enough job for that. Dezone where we can. Take away a few more small roads that have low density zoning on them to get us all the buildings we need to get up as close to the million as we can. Yeah, the crime is looking like an issue. Maybe look at the policies and see if have a look at the recreational abuse or the harsh prison sentences. Maybe if we turn this off for a bit and see if it has a positive or negative effect. Same with the harsh prison sentences. We'll try swapping one for the other. Try a few different combinations. I think there's anything in the city planning that can help us. Yeah, we'll come back and see what kind of effect that has. We're on 12% at the moment, which is no use. So we'll come back next time and see how we get on. Till then, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.